Welcome to the wrap-up of my Finish Your Frog Journey 2025. It is today the 27th of December. I'm here to update you on how things went, where we are now, where we're going. So I started out at the beginning of the year with about 13 knitting and crochet works in progress. I've been living with a lot of WIPs for several years and I've been fine with it. But as time went on, my hobbies became less and less enjoyable for me and mostly felt like a burden. I decided I had had enough and made a plan to either finish or frog all of my WIPs within 1 year, being 2025. And if you haven't been following along, or if you need a recap, or just if you're interested in how I approached it, you can find the playlist linked below. I'm here today to catch you up. I already said that. So I'm just gonna do a voiceover, I think, because why not? I also got a microphone, so I think the audio is gonna be a little better. Hopefully, cross your fingers. I know I've been away for a while, and everything just got a little too much. And all of a sudden, the video making just felt like another chore on top of everything. But now I feel like I've really missed it, and I really do want to do this wrap up because it's been a year-long project, and I feel like we need to tie a bow and, like, finish it off nicely. So yeah, as I was saying, I was quite overwhelmed at first because there were so many projects, and some of them were nostalgic. I felt a connection to them, but yet I didn't feel like working on them, or didn't even really want the finished object. It was just, it's something that you cast on maybe 2-3 years ago, and you remember feeling really excited about it, and then you know that you already poured some hours into it and some thought, and it just hurts a little bit to just to just throw all that away. But when I unraveled the first few projects, it was actually a relief, and it was almost the best part of it all. I mean, finishing things was also good. It always like came with a sense of completion, and but the results of the finished products varied greatly. So I don't think I'm gonna go into too much detail about all the individual projects, but maybe I should make an everything I knit and crochet in 2025 video and go a little more in depth with some of them. Yeah, I'll think about doing that because I actually did make quite a lot of stuff this year. On the finish or frog list, I did finish some, I frogged some, I donated some, but then during the year I also cast on quite a few things, which I almost finished all of them, so quite proud of that. But also it just took time away from the finish or frog thing, obviously. So the last few things that I haven't tackled yet on the list that I made, you can see me finish and or unravel here while we're talking. You will notice that there are a few projects missing, and they are two of my larger projects. They are my Bohemian Oasis blanket and my Grayling cardigan. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten them. I'm gonna make a video that's gonna hopefully come out around New Year's, maybe a little after, but I'm shooting for around New Year's. I get the time. So you won't see those projects in this video. And also my contrast blast socks, because I only have one of them in my possession currently. The other one is in my bin at work, as I have been using it as a sort of like project to work on during breaks and such. But I'm actually leaning towards frogging them as well, even though it does kind of hurt because I still kind of love them. But for 3 reasons, I think I'm going to frog them. One being that I never feel like picking them up to work on them. And I don't need that right now. 2, the glitter yarn is quite annoying to work with because the thin glitter strand keeps breaking. So it's actually not that nice to work with. And 3, not that socks that necessarily have to be my style in order for me to wear them around the house, but I'm really not excited about wearing this design at all. So those 3 things together made me feel like, well, may as well just frog them. I just can't because yeah, I'm on a Christmas break and I simply don't have access to 50% of the project. So overall, the first half of the year felt quite cathartic, and it inspired me to get other parts of my life under control, such as my health. Maybe not under control, but like in focus. Because doing this Finish Your Frog project just made me feel like I could actually set some goals and achieve them, and I was right. It worked great. So during the spring, I got healthier, and I felt so great for it. But over the summer, I just kind of lost my mojo. Maybe because I started a few too many new projects. Maybe because I started to realize that it was a rather ambitious project I was working on, and maybe it was unrealistic to push myself like that. So already last year, I decided that I would participate in the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along 2025. And this year I was planning to spin the yarn myself. I actually ended up both dyeing fiber and spinning the yarn and using stash and scraps, and I did manage to finish it as well. But that resulted in that project taking over 2 months. And that wasn't even part of the Finish Your Frog. It was just something that I'd planned that I wanted to do anyway. So I felt pretty burnt out after MCAL, also because I really didn't like the finished results. And so that makes you stop and think about it, was it really worth it? And yes, it was for the experience, because now I know what it feels for me to join and finish an MCAL. And I'm not sure I need to experience that again. Also because I really don't wear shawls, and I especially don't wear large shawls. But I do have a friend who thought it looked super cool. So I thought, well, they can have it for their birthday or whatever. So sort of the same as when I made the Mile a Minute blanket in February or whenever that was. I liked it, and then I didn't like it, and I was questioning whether it had been worth my while. But then I gave it as a Christmas present this Christmas, and the recipient really loved it. You seem to love it anyway. So that is a win. Let's see what else. Yeah, so as I said, I was burned out, and I had also like started not taking care of myself so well, and little by little, yeah, I don't know, I just came away from it. I guess also maybe a yearly goal is a little it's a year is a long time. It actually is, to stick with like one thing. And so I did stray from it, and that I don't know. It worked really well for the first half of the year. So maybe I should just make like half yearly goals. I think that's the new plan anyway. So, but then also, yeah, I lost my mojo towards a lot of things. Over the course of the year, my attitude towards what I want to knit and wear has also changed. I think a lot of it has to do with this finish of Frog, because I actually really clearly can weigh like how much time and effort does it take for me to work on a project, and what do I get out of it. Um, and so instead of just casting on with wild abandon, which is totally fine, not hating on anybody who does it that way, because I mean, I did that for years and loved it, because I was like, well, this is my hobby. I'm gonna do whatever I want. But it's just not what I want anymore. So now I still do what I want, which is clean it all up and reboot it, just start over. Because I felt like I was drowning, and I just didn't enjoy myself anymore. Um, so one of the few things that I feel like I've really loved that I've made this year is the sweater that I'm wearing, the number 11 light. I wear it absolutely all the time, and it was a project I started this year and finished within 6 weeks, I think, in spring. And yeah, so this year has taught me that I low key feel like I'm wasting my time crafting, or that's not entirely true, but I definitely need to free myself from the constant stream of projects and focus on my health first and foremost. Because there's no joy in knitting, especially knitting garments on myself, when I don't feel good in my body to begin with. Um, and that's what I felt when I felt healthy, I felt good, felt proud of myself and my achievements. I was excited about style and colors and dressing myself and whatever. So I want to get back to that, not just for the sake of knitting and stuff, but for the sake of feeling good in my own skin. Um, so what else? Yeah, I don't know. I said I didn't want to talk about like specific projects too much, but one finished object that wasn't worth it was my vintage jumper. I mean, the color didn't inspire me anymore. My gauge was off, and the sleeve shape was not something I want to be wearing. And it was a fine gauge thing, and it took a lot of knitting and sewing, and again, good on me for finishing it, a true vintage garment. But why didn't I check the gauge? It's unwearable. It's simply unwearable. But then it's out of my system. It's out of my knitting basket, whatever. I don't have to think about it anymore. It's done. And so I actually did achieve my goals. A year is a long time to work on to be on a journey of just clearing out things. It would have been so much easier to just grab it all and just donate the whole pile and then start over. But that would just, I don't know, kind of wasteful to me. And I also feel like maybe I wouldn't have gotten everything out of it that I did if I had just done it that way. I sort of had to be along for the whole ride, and it has been a ride. For the last few months, it's been going downhill. It's been a bumpy ride. It hasn't been fun. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what the future will bring. I still haven't, cleared out all of the projects. As I told you, we still need the blanket and the cardigan and the socks. I also cast on a new thing that now only needs a sleeve and a half. It's a scrappy version of the 11 that I'm wearing in gray stripes, and I really like that. And I want to be wearing that soon. So that has been a focus of mine. And then, just finishing small Christmas presents. And I did a latch hook project for my nephew, which was actually just an inside joke, but it still took me about 15 hours to do. I did some mittens for a classmate of my son's, because they asked me if I wanted to make them pink mittens, and I said sure. And I did it. Yeah, and then I just haven't been motivated to cast on anymore or work on things, because yeah, I'm just waiting for the new year to start. And now I'm rambling, I'm yapping, I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm not saying that I won't be crafting in 2027, just that my goals for next year are not about crafting as such, but that I want to find a balance where creating with my hands is a positive contribution to my life and not a stressful element. That sounds really profound and like a good thing. I'm probably going to be making some scrappy projects. I have long wanted to make a pangolin, and I sort of have a deal with a friend to do a sort of knit along with that. So probably going to see me make that. And I've been dreaming about having like a long open, like flowy vest or something, like really 70s style, but moody and like swamp witchy thing. I don't know. So that's something that I hope to be working on. Maybe that's just an idea. I don't know. And I finally bought my black cashmere in a sweater quantity. So you're probably going to see me make something with that as well. Maybe I'll do the Tour de Fleece again. It was a good experience this year. And when I spun for the Mystery Knit Along, I discovered how bad I've become at spinning. So something can certainly be done about that. We had some advent calendars at work this year from Hedgehog Fibers, and one of them was with different like luxury spinning fibers. And so I got one, and then I also three of my colleagues just gave me theirs because they don't spin. So I have a small quantity of luxury spinning fiber from Hedgehog Fibers, in not my colors at all, but maybe we'll do something with those if I am able to do it this year. I'm not even sure, because I know I'm going traveling right around that time. We'll see. Whatever. But maybe the content on this channel will be more like traditional knitting podcast episodes on a fairly regular basis come 2026. Who knows? We will see. So I didn't finish or frog all of my projects, but mostly. And in addition to that, I finished a lot of other things and accomplished a lot of other things. And most importantly, I feel like I have accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. Like, I feel like I've taken a step forward instead of just, staying in place or even taking a step backward. Compared to where I want to be, This is purely personal goals. But yeah, thanks for spending some time with me on this journey to clear my needles and hooks and my brain space and my apartment, because it also feels nice to. I've been de-stashing quite a lot as well, and yeah, just getting things out, and gifting some of the bigger things as well, like the blanket and stuff. Yeah, please hang around if you want. I'll definitely be back, maybe sooner than you think. Take care. Bye.